The arena hums long before the first punch is thrown, a low electric vibration rolling through the crowd as thousands rise to their feet, sensing that something definitive is about to unfold. This isn't just another fight night. This is Terence "Bud" Crawford's return, the pound-for-pound king stepping back into the spotlight after a long silence, a champion whose name alone bends expectations. Lights glare down on the canvas, cameras hover, and every sound echoes sharper, louder, heavier. Across the ring stands David Avanesyan, hardened, durable, and dangerous in his own way. A man who has traveled the hard roads of boxing, collecting scars, wins, and belief. For Avanesyan, this is the opportunity of a lifetime, the kind that either defines a career or ends it. For Crawford, it's about reaffirming dominance, about reminding the world that inactivity has not dulled greatness. As the referee calls both men to the center, instructions are given, gloves are touched, and for a brief moment, the noise fades. This is the calm before violence. The fans know Crawford's reputation. The switch-hitting genius, the ruthless finisher, the fighter who downloads opponents like data and deletes them with precision. They also know Avanesyan won't fold easily. He's here to test resolve, to push pace, to force the champion to work. When the bell finally rings, the tension snaps like a wire pulled too tight, and the fight begins not with chaos, but with calculation. From the opening seconds, Terence Crawford moves with the unmistakable rhythm of a master at work. His eyes are calm, his feet light, his lead hand constantly probing, measuring distance, gauging reactions, studying patterns. Avanesyan does not hesitate. He presses forward, cutting the ring, testing Crawford's willingness to engage. Believing pressure can crack even the most refined skill. But Crawford welcomes none of it recklessly. He slides, pivots, switches stances without warning, orthodox to southpaw and back again, forcing Avanesyan to reset his brain every few seconds. The jab becomes a ruler, snapping out, keeping Avanesyan just close enough to be frustrated but never comfortable. When Avanesyan commits, Crawford answers with subtle counters, not thrown with full malice yet, but with intent. Reminders of what waits ahead. The crowd murmurs with appreciation as they watch a craftsman at work, dismantling momentum before it ever forms. Avanesyan lands a few body shots, enough to signal he won't be bullied out of the fight, enough to demand respect. But Crawford never panics. He never overreacts. His defense flows into offense seamlessly, his balance unbroken even when back toward the ropes. These early rounds are not about dominance. They're about information. Crawford is gathering data, logging tendencies, and quietly setting traps. Avanesyan, encouraged by his own toughness, keeps coming, unaware that every step forward is being catalogued, every punch answered in Crawford's mind. The fight is competitive on the surface, but underneath, the foundation for something decisive is already being laid. As the rounds tick by, the tempo sharpens. Avanesyan begins to believe he belongs here, that his pressure is forcing Crawford to work harder than expected. He stays in the pocket longer, throws combinations, digs to the body, and absorbs return fire without backing down. The crowd responds, rising with every exchange, sensing the fight's edge growing sharper. But this is where Terence Crawford thrives, in complexity, in chaos, controlled by intelligence. He starts varying his shots, mixing soft punches with sudden, snapping power, upstairs and downstairs, never predictable, never wasteful. His uppercut begins to whisper warnings, slipping through Avanesyan's guard, just enough to make its presence felt. Crawford's timing sharpens like a blade. His counters come a fraction of a second faster, his angles more severe. Avanesyan's face begins to show effort, not fear, but the cost of chasing something elusive. Crawford's footwork keeps him just out of danger, and when he's briefly trapped, he spins out, firing back with precision that punishes aggression. The commentators talk about staying power, and this is where it reveals itself. Not just physical durability, but mental endurance. Crawford remains composed, breathing steady, eyes locked. Avanesyan is still game, still throwing, still believing, but the fight is beginning to tilt. Each exchange now favors the champion. Each successful combination from Crawford lands cleaner, heavier, and with more authority. The momentum is shifting, quietly but unmistakably. By the fifth round, the difference in class becomes harder to ignore. Crawford's punches carry more sting. His shot selection more ruthless. He begins to double up, feinting low and striking high, pulling Avanesyan into traps that close faster than expected. The uppercut, now a weapon fully unleashed, slices through the center, snapping Avanesyan's head back, drawing gasps from the crowd. Crawford's confidence grows visibly. He starts to walk Avanesyan down, not recklessly, but with cold assurance. This is no longer a feeling-out process. This is execution. Avanesyan fires back, landing occasionally, refusing to concede, but every exchange costs him more than it costs Crawford. The champion's ability to change speeds becomes devastating. Soft touches, followed by explosive shots that arrive before defenses can reset. The ring begins to feel smaller for Avanesyan, his options narrowing, his reactions slowing by inches that might as well be miles. Crawford's eyes lock in, his posture stiffens, and the arena senses it. That subtle shift when a finisher decides it's time. Punches come sharper now, heavier, layered with intent. Each connection draws louder reactions. Each missed counter from Avanesyan feels like borrowed tide. The fight is teetering on the edge of inevitability, and everyone watching knows it's no longer a matter of if, only when. Then it happens. In a sudden burst of brilliance, Terence Crawford creates the opening he's been building toward all night. A perfectly timed uppercut explodes upward, catching Avanesyan clean, violently, snapping his head back and shattering his balance in an instant. The impact echoes, a sound different from the rest, heavier, final. Avanesyan collapses backward, his body betraying him before his will can react. The crowd erupts as he crashes to the canvas, eyes unfocused, legs unable to respond. The referee rushes in, waving his arms as Crawford steps away calmly, already knowing the result. This is not celebration, it's confirmation. The king has spoken. The knockout isn't wild or reckless. It's surgical, the product of patience, timing, and supreme understanding of distance and opportunity. Avanesyan gave everything he had, pressed with courage, absorbed punishment with heart. But against this level of precision, toughness alone isn't enough. As the official count becomes irrelevant, the arena shakes with noise, fans roaring at the brilliance they've just witnessed. Crawford stands composed, almost expressionless, as if this ending was always written. Because to him, it was. At 6 rounds and 14 seconds, it's officially over. Terence Crawford wins by knockout, and the message reverberates far beyond the ring. After 13 months away, after questions about rust and inactivity, Crawford answers with authority. This was not a tune-up. It was a reminder. A reminder that skill, discipline, and intelligence age differently than hype. As his name is announced, applause rains down, not just for the finish, but for the mastery displayed throughout the fight. Avanesyan rises slowly, battered but respected, having proven his toughness on the biggest stage available to him. There is no shame here, only the reality of facing greatness. Crawford's legacy continues to grow, not through trash talk or theatrics, but through moments like this. Moments where preparation meets opportunity and ends decisively. The crowd lingers, replaying the knockout in their minds, aware they've witnessed another chapter in the career of a generational fighter. Terence "Bud" Crawford doesn't chase chaos, he controls it. And on this night, under the bright lights and roaring crowd, he showed once again why the throne remains firmly beneath his feet. Untouched, undisputed, and undeniably his.